Hi, hi. Hello, hello. What's today? Monday. Happy Monday, family. How are you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing amazing. Bonjour, back to you. So, y'all, I haven't been live in a while, but I wanted to come over here. I know most of the time when I go live, I'm talking about something very specific regarding femininity or one of the femininity workshops, or talking about one of the programs or something that I have going on or coming up. But I have been getting a lot of questions about me being pregnant, but more specifically, me being pregnant abroad. So for those of you who don't know, hey, how are you? I'm great. Thanks for asking. But for those of you who don't know, I moved to Panama City, Panama, Central America back in September. And I've been here ever since. Since my move, I am now pregnant. You can kind of see it from the side. I'm not standing up. There it goes. There's a pregnant belly. So I am now 5.5 months pregnant, and I am having my baby abroad. So when I give birth, I am giving birth in Panama City, Panama. I'm not returning back to the U.S. Of course, I'll come visit, see family, friends, and things like that. But this is home. We'll still do our traveling, seeing other countries, coming back to the U.S., hitting up the Ebony Fit weekends, any other fitness events, classes that I'm teaching in the U.S. and things like that. But outside of that, we are 100% in Panama. People keep asking me, when am I coming back? Or so when is your vacation over? I'm like, yeah, I've been here let me see, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. I have been here 10 months now. It is not a vacation. I live here. And then after the baby comes, once I have the baby here, it'll be easier for us to kind of get some things solidified legally. So for those of you who don't know, as far as Panama City goes, you can stay here up to 6 months without getting any kind of special kind of visa or anything like that. You just leave before that 60 days and come back. If you do go to the 60-day mark, they do make you stay out for a month. So let's say if I was to leave on the 60-day mark, I wouldn't be able to go to Colombia for a couple days and come back. I would have to stay gone for a full month before I can return to Panama. But normally what we've been doing is we've been doing a lot of traveling anyway. So we'll, before the 60-day mark, 6 month, not 60-day. I said 60-day mark. That was wrong. 6 month mark. Before the 6 month mark, we'll do some traveling. We went to Colombia, and then we went and hit up the U.S. and things like that. Like I said, when the baby comes, the baby is expected in October. So when the baby comes, he will automatically have a citizenship here, and then we will go to we'll go to the embassy, and then they have a special type of citizenship for the U.S. because me and baby Lobo's dad, me and Mike, are both U.S. citizens. So he'll also be a U.S. citizen as well. So super excited about that. It's been an interesting process being pregnant here. Obviously, I've never been pregnant before, so it's an interesting process for me anyway. Just going through with it, having my first baby and my baby boy. So super excited about that. But, hey, come on. But, it's been interesting just with the medical staff and things like that when it comes to having the baby. We do not have insurance in Panama, so anything baby-wise, we've pretty much been paying out of pocket. But I have to say, especially compared to what I've been hearing about U.S. prices, it is a lot less expensive, child. Oof. like a lot less expensive, even with people having insurance in the US. So I'm in a couple of like pregnancy or mom groups and stuff like on Facebook and things like that, especially because it's my first time, having a baby, just hearing what other people are talking about and things like that. So I am at 22 weeks right now. I'll be 23 weeks on Thursday. And there's a genetic testing that they do, I think it's like between 20 weeks and 23 weeks, where they test your baby for Down syndrome. They test for like cleft lip or any other mental disorders, and also physical, making sure they have all their fingers, their toes, making sure that their heart is pumping properly, making sure that my blood isn't mixing with the baby's blood and everything like that. It's a pretty intense process. So for that one, I did blood work as well as I did, I don't think it's called I think this one is like a sonogram instead of an ultrasound. I'm not really sure what the difference is between the two. They both is like, I can see the baby. So, but it was pretty intense. It was longer than the normal ultrasound, and they were kind of like digging and pressing a little bit harder just because they had to kind of see the details. And then, it was like with color too, so that they could see the part of the blood. Oh, I thought that it was a mosquito. I was about to go. But so they could see like the direction that the blood is moving within the baby. Another thing is they said that all of your spinal fluid that you have as an adult, like it starts in the baby's brain. It starts in the head. So all of that spinal fluid is there in the brain before it even goes through the spine. So they checked on things like that as well. But I was looking in the group, and this lady was telling me, well, she was telling us, and she showed her bill. She just had the same thing done, and it was like $17,000. Like, she ended up not having to pay as much because her insurance took care of part of it. But I was like, there is no way. There is no way. And a couple people in the group, they did say that they didn't spend that much. But for the U.S., it gets pretty far up there, like definitely like close in the thousands to get that test done. Here, $200. Very thorough. The last time I went to the US, I did have a little bit of a scare. So we were going to Ebony Fit Weekend Miami. Shout out to Ebony Fit Weekend family. For those of you who are in Atlanta, I'll be there at the end of July. Last Saturday in July, I'll be teaching my very last trap yoga class before I go out on maternity leave. So make sure y'all check me out there. But anyway, rewinding back to what I was saying, I was in Miami for Ebony Fit Weekend and I was teaching. But we stopped in Dallas first, drove to Houston to see Micah's family, and then also my brother in Houston. And had a little bit of a scare. Had to go to the emergency room. Had some bleeding, and make sure you go and watch all of those details. Hey, Mello. Make sure you guys go watch all of those details of that like scare that happened while we were in the U.S. So I don't have to go through all of it, but it was pretty intense. It was a pretty emotional thing. But anyway, I said all of that to say, once I did certain testing there, I was able to see and confirm that everything that they were doing here with me was correct. So the only thing that I've said that has been somewhat difficult is just the language barrier, right? So my Spanish, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I can understand some, and then some things I can kind of pick up on based on the context. But sometimes going to the doctor, I'm like, wait, what? And I have to like pull out my translator and things like that. But that's been like the biggest thing that I've really had to worry about. The doctors here are great. Shout out to my doctor here, Dr. Roberto Lewis, who has been fantastic and making sure baby Lobo is healthy. And dealing with all of my stuff because I be freaking out sometimes. And when I'm freaking out, he makes sure that I'm good. And I'm sitting there like trying to figure out the words I need to say in Spanish. And I'm like, wait, how does that translate? And so he's been working with me the entire time. But here so far. Obviously, I haven't given birth yet, so I'll be able to give more insight on how that process is being in Central America and being in Panama City, Panama. But so far, it's been amazing. The care here is top tier. It's not like, I think a lot of times people think when you move out the country, it's like third world country, you can't do anything. Like, no, that's not the case at all. Like, everything is great. The doctors are phenomenal. At least my doctor is phenomenal. And everything has gone smoothly, from me getting my blood work done to me getting the genetic testing done, and then just with the general care and questions about the baby. And it's been a lot less expensive. So just being here as a whole, having a baby is a little bit, it can be a lot at times, just because the family just isn't around, and I kind of feel like everybody should just be making me Thanksgiving food all of the time. And my Thanksgiving food, I can't really get here like that, because for one, turkey is nowhere to be found. But other than that, it's good. And then being here, we still have a big support system. Anna's here, and she's been pretty much since I've gotten pregnant, she's been taking care of all of the cooking and everything, even when it comes down to the fresh juice and making sure that I get what I need, because I'm in my second trimester now. My first trimester, when I tell you, it was trash. Like, my first trimester was like, I literally thought I was going to die. Like, I felt like when people talk about pregnancy, they talk about like being big and uncomfortable and like, oh, the baby is kicking, which I'm getting to that stage now where he's doing a whole lot. But I felt like I never really heard people talk about the first trimester. And so far, like, that shucks, that like 6 to really like 5 weeks to like 13 weeks was rough for me. Like, I was sick, couldn't eat anything hardly. Like, they were like shoving food down my throat trying to make me eat. Everything made me sick. Smells made me sick. Heat made me sick. Being cold made me sick. It was just bad. And as you can imagine, I'm in my third trimester and ready for him. Congratulations, Miss Cora. Ooh, 7 months. Ooh, goodness. For both of them, Janessa. Jeez. I'm glad my morning sickness just lasted for that first part, because it was bad. Like, it was rough for me. Like, and I feel like nobody told me. I was just, and then my mental, I noticed that my mental wasn't mentally. It wasn't doing, because it was just like, it was hard to be. It's like I was excited that I was pregnant, especially because I was trying for so long and I had pretty much given up on having a baby. I was just like, okay, it's just not gonna happen. I'm just gonna travel the world and live my best life, But it was hard to like really enjoy that part, just because I was so sick and I didn't feel like, I always felt like something was wrong, because I was like, there's no way like this is supposed to be happening. Like, there's no way I'm supposed to be this sick. And then when I saw how fast I was losing weight and I wasn't moving, because I'm like, what? Like, I can maybe see if I was like not eating but still doing burpees all over the place, but like I was in the same place. And this is what I say, you're sick when you don't pick up the phone or you don't turn on the TV. Sometimes it's like, hey, I'm sick, but I'm just gonna lay down and turn on the TV and relax. No, it was like I was in the same spot, woke up, got out the bed, wobbled to the couch, laid there, and like didn't move for like, I'm trying to lose 100 pounds, currently 200. Now how can I start getting the weight off? All right, so we just had a question come in. She said she's trying to lose 100 pounds, trying to get the weight off. First off, you need to get moving. That's your first thing, is to get moving and to change your diet. One doesn't really go without the other. So a lot of times, I know for me, I'm one of those people who have like 1,000 before pictures before they actually made a lifestyle change. And you can't do one without the other. So if you think that you're going to be able to, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. Sorry, I'm trying to prop this up here. If you think you're going to be able to go to the gym and eat whatever you want to do, whatever you want, that's not going to happen. You'll see some changes. It'll be good for your heart and your cardiovascular system, but you're gonna have to make some changes in your diet as well as getting more active. I always kind of go against dieting, but I say try to find plans that can help you. Try to find foods that you enjoy that is good for you, okay? So there's some things, like for me, I love, which is killing me now because I can't have the raw food, but I love sushi, right? I love ceviche. So ceviche is basically like raw fish and they cook it in the lemon and lime juice. Love it, right? But for me, it doesn't feel like I'm eating healthy. It's something that I actually enjoy. So I was doing like a lot of things like that. But finding foods that you actually enjoy that is healthy so that you can keep it going outside of your diet or dieting. Also, I do have a program called the Feminine and Fit program, which you can click the link in my bio for that. But we work to improve the health of mind, body, and spirit through femininity and fitness. And we can dive a little bit deeper in there with you, talk about your goals if you are interested in that. Just had a baby a few months. Yeah. Girl, so you have to find a way to make sure that you're getting all of your nutrients. So guys, what she said was she had a baby a few months ago and she doesn't eat meat. You have to find a way to get all of the nutrients that you need in your system without meat, okay? Because there's certain things that you're gonna need that's in meat, but you're gonna have to find the alternates. So I would do like a chat GPT search, or even a Google search, and just say, hey, what are the essential nutrients that I need post having a baby, right? And then find plants and substitutes that have those things in it. When I say substitute, I don't necessarily mean meat substitutes, because sometimes I find that the meat substitutes is worse than just eating meat. But you're going to have to be very intentional about it. Also, I don't know how long, a few months ago, but be gentle with yourself. So you got to find that balance between holding yourself accountable, right? And saying, hey, like, I have a transformation that I need to do, not just because I want to look good in the mirror, but I also want to be healthy. But then also remembering that you just had a whole person. You just made a human. Like, and it's a lot. I'm not even in the third trimester yet, and it is a lot, child. It is a lot. So remembering, hey, like, I'm gentle with myself. I'm doing the things necessary to make sure that I can move forward in my fitness goals. I'm being active, even if it's just adding in a walk every day. So depending on how far along in your postpartum journey you are, and if you've been released from your doctor to work out, that just kind of depends more on what you're doing. But we could talk more about that too. You can shoot me a DM if you have more questions about that. But yeah, finding that balance. Hold yourself accountable, but don't allow yourself to be on the BS either. Let me see. And then, of course, I'll keep you guys in the loop on my postpartum journey as well. You see all of these IG transformations and bounce back stories, and like, hey, I had a baby yesterday and today I have a 6-pack abs. For some people, it may be realistic. I'm hoping that I'm one of those people that is realistic for it, But if we're just being honest, for the majority of people, right? So for the majority of people, for your average person, having that bounce back that extreme isn't realistic, right? And more importantly than that, when you have a baby, at least in those first few months, focus in on bonding with your baby. Focus in on being a mom. Focus in, especially if it's your first time having a baby, right? So focus in on all of the other hard stuff, the breastfeeding and the new schedules, and making sure that your mental is good. And that's why with all of my programs, I make sure that I add that mental piece in now. Before, I would just do the fitness stuff, but the mental is so important, man. And the physical is not going to do what it needs to do if your mental isn't there anyway. So let me see. Was there another question on here? Did I miss anybody? If I missed your question, you could drop it back. Hey, how are you? How are you? But yeah, so I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop through my journey of this pregnancy, and then also the postpartum. So I am working out. I made a vow to myself. I said, hey, I'm going to get in at least 3 times a week. I know myself, and I know I'm getting to know myself as a pregnant woman. I know that I'm never going to feel like it. Whereas before, I could be like, oh, I could go to the gym. Now, I don't ever feel like it. Never. I don't want to do nothing but eat. That's it, right? But I'm honest with myself enough to know that. And so I'm going to tell myself, hey, I'm going to go to the gym every single day, because I know that I'm going to have those days where my body isn't going to let me. I'm going to have those days where my body is saying, hey, Kiki, sit down, take it easy today. So knowing that, I'm giving my chance more likelihood of being active by saying I'm going to go every day. So if it's a few days where my body is telling me to sit down and chill out, I'm going to sit down and chill out. So it's the same thing I said before, holding yourself accountable, but also being gentle with yourself and realizing what you're doing. Either you're making a person or you just made a person, right? So I've also been doing some walking. I love here, Centro Costera, right by the water. Love doing that path to walk. Now the heat hits me differently. Like, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of gray over here now. If the sun was shining, I would not be out here. The sun hits me way different. And so for me, going to the gym works a little bit better than just getting out and taking a walk because of the air conditioner. And it's interesting because normally I'm a sun person. I love the sun. I'm like, hey, tan me. Like, now this pregnant body, it don't process the sun the same. So Chiefs 3. Kudos to you. 3 babies. See, this one, sorry about that. I am trying to decide, which I know is not, I'm going to have to, we're going to see how this delivery and birth of this baby goes first. Trying to see if we're just going to have one or we're going to go right back in and do another. It's a lot physically on the body. And I know, as far as me being in the fitness industry and community, part of me wants to get back so that I can start back working. Now, with that being said, Michael takes care of everything. So shout out to my man. My man makes sure I'm good, so I don't have to do anything. It's just me wanting to be active, and I enjoy teaching my classes. I enjoy the interactions. I enjoy all of those things. And so I'm a little bit, even for missing the Ebony Fit weekend. So obviously I'll be teaching at the one in Atlanta, but I'm a little salty about missing the other ones. But I understand that, hey, like, we're making a human now, so I have to take that break. So soon I will decide we will decide if we want to have another one. And if we do, it'll probably be sooner rather than later, because as time goes on and age and things become more of a factor. So the idea is to go ahead and get them out the way. And then I don't want too much time in between the babies anyway. It'll be good to have, enough space to where, like, one can kind of help the other, hold the other's hand, but not so close to where they like twins. Although if he could have it that way, he probably would. Let me see. The third one was actually the first time I actually experienced real. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? She said the third one was actually the first time that she experienced a real pregnancy. What do you mean by that? Yeah, I'm curious to know what you mean. Do you have stepchildren? Is that what you mean? Let me know if you have stepchildren. Also, shout out to all the stepmothers and fathers as well. I was a stepmother for a while and loved my stepdaughter. Well, I still love her to death. But I will say it is a huge blessing to have the opportunity to give birth. I had pretty much given up on it. I was just like, hey, I've been trying. I was, previously married and trying there, and I was like, oh, it's not working. Like, I don't know why. Nobody could really give me a clear answer on why. It was like, hey, fibroids and, ovarian cysts and all of these things. But I was like, okay, what do I need to get it removed? What do I need to do? And they're like, oh, no, like, just kind of leave it there. I'm like, huh? I don't understand. Like, you're telling me a problem without giving me a solution. So to be here and have that have been a huge thing for me, because I've always wanted family. I've always been a person who desired marriage and family. My parents are still married now. They've been married for 33 years and counting. My grandparents on both sides, my dad's parents were married. My mom's parents were married. So I've always known family, always desired family, and kids, and it just wasn't working. And when I tell you, like, even Mother's Days, like, I had a YouTube video on that too, so y'all can go back and watch that. My YouTube link is in my bio as well. But Mother's Days and all of those things used to be rough for me, because I'm just like, man, like, I felt like I was doing everything right. I'm like, I'm doing everything right. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm going to the church. I'm being good to the people. I ain't slapped nobody, I wasn't out here wilding. I tried to, like, wait to marriage to even start trying to have kids and going down that route. But it just wasn't working for me. But God knew things that I didn't, right? God knew things that I didn't. And even in that hurt and pain, God was still protecting me. So to be here now and to have gotten to a place where I made peace and was just like, oh, well, I'm traveling the world. My business is thriving, in the fitness community. I'm able to go here. I'm able to go there, have these opportunities. I'm okay with just not having kids. And the moment that I, like, made peace with that, that's the moment that I was like, boop, and here we are. So I'm super blessed to have the opportunity to nurture life in my body. Like I said, stepmothers and stepfathers are needed and necessary and very important, and it takes a special kind of person to genuinely love a child that they didn't birth or that isn't theirs. So shout out to those. But I am blessed and thankful, and will continue to say that, blessed and thankful to have the opportunity. So even when I'm complaining and I'm like, why is he doing Taibo in my stomach right now? Why is he doing burpees in my stomach right now? I'm still grateful and blessed to have the opportunity. Okay, got you. So she said she was young with her first 2 pregnancies, but when she hit her 30s, the last pregnancy hit differently. Yeah, so I've heard that too. I'm 32, so I don't, this is my first baby ever. I'm wondering if it would have been easier or harder. I don't know. Now, one thing I will say is, being that now I am more fit and healthy, I think that definitely is a plus for me. Even with some of the symptoms and things that happen, I'm a strong believer that my health and my fitness played a huge role in me first off getting pregnant in the first place, but also in having a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. I talk about that too. We recorded it. I'm not sure if it's posted yet, but man, that just mind, body, and spirit. Like, I talk about my femininity, feminine and fit program, and how it uses femininity and fitness to improve the health of mind, body, and spirit. And you hear people say mind, body, spirit all the time, but like, it really does make a difference. Like, that's why I'm pregnant right now, is because it makes a difference. And being here, being in Panama, it's easier to stay active, right? Most of the people here are active and fit. And so a lot of times when something is the norm, it's easier to do it. I was already involved in the fitness industry and already active, but I became even more active. And then being here, we was walking, hey, CJ, y'all, the GOAT Fit with CJ is on here. Y'all go follow Fit with CJ right now. But being here, we walk everywhere. I know you guys probably don't know where things are here in Panama, but when I first moved here, I was living in Casco Viejo, and we were walking to the gym every day. So we're walking to the gym every day, which was like, I want to say like 3.5 miles. And I remember when I first came, I was like, my feet is hurting so bad. I couldn't figure out why. I had I can't even think of the name of it right now. Plantar fasciitis, like terrible plantar fasciitis. And I couldn't figure out like why it wasn't going away. Well, I started tracking my miles, and I'm like, this man is crazy. He got me walking like 7 miles in a day. Like, no wonder. Because we would walk to the gym, walk to the grocery store, walk back, and all of that. But staying active is easier because it's beautiful. It's like, it gives you Miami vibes, but in Central America and less expensive. So being active plus going to the gym, right? And then getting on with the fasting regimen. So make sure you go out and make sure you guys go follow Bravo Fit on Instagram as well. It's my partner, my baby daddy. That's so ratchet, I know, but awesome man, phenomenal father to be and partner. But we started doing fasting. So we started out doing just like one, and then we added on days, the 2 days, water fast, only water fast. And we started doing a fast once a day. So not once a day, once a week every week. And so as I started learning more about fasting and how your body kind of heals itself, so if there's anything out of whack, meaning any wild cells, any potentially cancerous anything, it kind of regulates your body. It attacks those negative cells or those wild cells, and it's like just really, really good for your health overall, especially when you get into the 3-day fast. And so we did a 3-day fast after a certain period of time, and then I did a 3-day fast again. He did a 5-day fast. Next, on the 8th, July 8th, he's doing his 15-day fast. So again, this is water fast. He's adding in some minerals and things this time just to make sure that even while he's fasting, he's being healthy and not just, killing himself. But did a lot of research and studying on fasting and just the benefits for the body, the benefits for the mental, also meditation. So we're meditating every single day, twice a day. Sometimes when we're traveling or when there's a lot going on, we don't get to do twice a day, but we're still making sure that meditation is getting in at least once a day. So I believe that all of those things combined, eating, okay, things are different. Food is different here in Panama. Like, even the bad stuff. So you can get a Snicker in the U.S. and you can get a Snicker here, and it's completely different ingredients. Like, hey, how are you? Oh, is that Maroni? Hey, Maroni. But the ingredients are different. Even the Cokes, like I normally don't drink soda, but here I will. If you look at the ingredients, it's first off, it's only like I say 3 to 5 ingredients. In the US it's like thousands of ingredients, and the ingredients inside of the ingredients and chemicals and all of that is just different. The food is fresher, the meat isn't so processed, Many people don't know Micah was actually, or Bravo, I don't know what y'all know him as, Micah Bravo, same person. He was vegan for a while, but in Panama he eats the meat here, didn't get sick or anything, just because the quality is different. So imagine that, eating healthier, still getting a pretty good diet, so we're still eating the vegetables, fruit and everything. The meat that we are eating is just a different quality. Like, they feed their pigs papayas. Like, come on. Like, one of our friends has a farm, and he was talking about, they eat papayas, whereas U.S. is just like slop. So you might see me eating a little bacon every now and then. No judgment. Don't judge me. Okay? Mind your business, not mine. But food quality, more active, happier, okay? Happy, at peace. Even with all of the same stressors, being out the country. Like, I can't speak for, I've done a pretty good amount of traveling, but I will speak specific to Panama because it's the only place outside of Costa Rica that I've been for, a long period of time. Even if you have all of the same stressors, right? Being here gives me 40% less stress, okay? 40% less stress. I'm happier, everything isn't perfect, but hey, I'm living. Look at my view. Look, come on a Tuesday, casual Tuesday. This is the place. So this is Castle Studios. This is where we've been staying for the last 6 months, but we're actually in the process of moving soon. So we have a temporary spot before we go back to the U.S. because we'll be there next month for Ebony Fit Weekend in Atlanta. Get your tickets, come see your girl. And then when we come back, we'll have our place where we'll be setting up shop for our baby boy. But man, it's really beautiful being here, and I'm in a really good place in my life. And I believe that this pregnancy and being able to get pregnant in the first place is just reflective of the peace that I've been able to have by default from my move. By default from me surrounding myself with people who prioritize their mental and spiritual health, by making meditation a part of my day-to-day in addition to prayer, because a lot of times, no shade to anybody, a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I pray to God and the Lord help me. Yeah, keep praying, but what else are we doing for our mental health? Okay, God is not a magic wand to come in and sprinkle and turn your life around. What actions are you taking to make your life better? So are you doing your meditation? Are you doing your writing? Are you are holding yourself accountable to do the things that you said that you were going to do? Are you playing the blame game? Every time something happens in your life, did the devil do it? Or are you accepting responsibility for the choices and decisions that you made? So putting in those practices, having in those conversations, even with the Feminine and Fit family, like, I always talk about it as a program that I am doing, but it's really all of us. And I think anybody who's ever been a part of it can attest. We have some deep conversations about some stuff that's kind of uncomfortable sometimes. And I believe that it takes that, because sometimes it takes looking in the mirror and being like, yep, that's exactly it. Faith without works is dead. But sometimes I believe it takes having those conversations with people who have the desire to be better, right? Having those conversations and being like, let's talk about emotional intelligence. Yes, I was feeling A, B, C, and D, but was that temper tantrum warranted? Did it make my situation better, or did it make it worse? Is that reflective of who I am and the goals and desires that I say that I want for my life? People can say what they want all of the time. It's what you're doing daily is not conducive to what you're saying that you want. Either you're just killing time doing absolutely nothing, or either you're lying to yourself, right? If there's certain things in my life that I say I want and desire, there's certain things that I have to do to make sure that happens. So I'll give you the example, talking about the baby again. If I'm saying, hey, I want a healthy baby, and I'm out here eating like crap, drinking crazy, smoking any and everything, how is that my actions aren't showing that I want the things that I say I want? It doesn't mean that you're like, oh, well, I don't drink ever. It doesn't mean that you don't go to the birthday party or whatever. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you shift a little bit because you said, hey, I want something. You have a belief that you can actually attain those things, and so your actions changed in order to get your desired outcomes. So that's what we talk about a lot of times in one way or another with the Feminine and Fit movement. We have those conversations, but also working on the physical and the mental and all of those things. And because, at the end of the day, we all have a desired outcome for life. Like, I felt like before, I was blessed to be bold enough to be an entrepreneur and to just kind of do the things that I wanted to do. But it was hard. Like, CJ, I don't know if he's still on here or not, but it's been the conversations and days that me and CJ been on the phone, like, going through it. Mostly me. CJ always be having it together. But going through it. And it's like the 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is nothing, no shit or anything to people who work 9 to 5s, because it is what it is. We got stuff to do. But I know that wasn't the life that I wanted. That's not what I desire. Even with having a baby, I know I want to be with my baby. I don't want somebody telling me that I have to come back to work after a certain time, or oh, I've got to my 12-week mark for FMLA, so if I don't go back, my job may not be protected. Or I'm out for FMLA, but my job isn't paying for me while I'm out. I have a certain amount of PTO that I've held to, like, go in the time for a couple weeks, but after that I don't get paid. So I didn't want that. I want to be able to do what I want to do, and it's a lot easier said than done, and I'm still figuring it out, right? I'm still figuring it out, but just having the boldness enough to be like, wow, if I am saying I want this outcome, the things that I am doing day to day isn't going to get me there. So I got to find a plan. I got to find some way to at least get me closer, to get me in the same room as maybe I need to be with the people that I need to be in, Maybe I need to travel the world and interact with other people, whatever it is. And so it really takes that, but it also takes you knowing what you want for real. Because a lot of times we say we want stuff, but based off our actions, we don't really want it. We don't really want it. Look, my bad for my rant. I was just talking. Let me see. Anybody else have any other questions before I jump off? Because it's getting a little hot. It's getting a little hot. The fact that I'm hot right now, y'all, is crazy. I never get hot. Like, I love the heat. I love the sun. But this whole pregnancy thing is just different. Yeah. Well, somebody just turned up the music, so that's my cue. Peace out. Talk to y'all later. Bye.